Hi, I'm Rick Green. I have a question. Does getting diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity make your ADHD symptoms worse? It sure seems like it, given how many people who have been recently diagnosed are complaining about it. Ever since I got diagnosed with my ADHD, my forgetfulness, my lack of motivation, restlessness, problems sleeping, anxiety, brain fog, clumsiness, it's all more severe than ever. To which you may ask, how is that even possible? This belief isn't universal, but it is a fairly common lament. Here's the question. Now that you're diagnosed, are your symptoms actually worse, or do they just feel like they've been intensified, elevated? Yes and yes. I think there are two explanations for this feeling. First, you've just got diagnosed. You are now hyper aware of everything you do. So when you misplace something, get distracted, lose track of what you're doing, it suddenly has this gravity, this extra meaning. Before the diagnosis, when you misplaced your phone, tuned out, made small mistakes, it was annoying, but you've been doing that a lot. Post-diagnosis, every time you forget, lose track, zone out, interrupt someone, it's significant. You're noticing things you never noticed before. Your misplaced scarf becomes a sign of low dopamine. Zoning out when someone's talking to you. Before, if you even noticed that you'd stopped listening, you probably would have concluded, oh, it's because they're boring. Now it's a sign of a mental disorder. Everything now is filtered through the knowledge that you have ADHD. It's like when you buy a new car and suddenly you see them everywhere. Is everyone buying? They must be popular. No, you're just noticing. You probably don't notice, say, the third finger on your right hand. You don't go around noticing it when you're grabbing things. You're just grabbing stuff, doing things, typing, hugging, whatever. You go weeks without really being aware of that finger. It's just, you use it all the time. It's just there. But pinch that finger in a door jamb and it's swollen and bruised and purple. Now you will be fully aware every time you reach for it and use it. Even when you're cautious, trying to protect it, you'll forget. And same finger, but a whole new level of awareness and sensitivity. It's okay. You're just starting to grasp how much ADHD has messed with you and messed you up. In fact, the more you think about it, the more you end up lost in thought, not paying attention, forgetting stuff, overwhelmed. No wonder. Now you're walking around thinking, I'm damaged, I'm broken, I'm doomed, and you walk right into a door. And I know it might seem that you're doomed, but you're not, luckily. It's a shock, though. You may feel a bit dazed, vulnerable, feeling battered and bruised. Yeah, bruised. So I think that's one reason why the symptoms can feel so much worse after a diagnosis, because you're so much more aware of them. You're looking out for them everywhere in your life. I mean, I'm still astonished at the ways it impacts my choices and my relationships and my behaviors. There's all these epiphanies going on, at least one a week. All right, the second reason folks may feel like the symptoms are worse is because they are. No wonder. I mean, you're chugging along dealing with life, and yeah, it's a struggle, and then suddenly your brain is overloaded with another whole layer of stuff. Suddenly you have an explanation for so many things that you do or can't seem to do, and then you're having the regrets and what if. You are reeling. You're even more lost in thought, more zoned out, struggling harder to focus, to listen, to stay on task, because stuff keeps coming up. Because you just found out you have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's a lot to take in, a lot to think about, especially if you're older. Your world has been shaken. Everything you knew about yourself and what everyone knew about you is suddenly up for grabs. You have a million questions, and on top of that, you're mourning the loss of who you thought you were. You're hurtling headlong through the stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, sadness, and you're still a ways away from the final stage, acceptance. But you've been given this life-changing knowledge, which you didn't necessarily want. You're realizing more and more all the ways that it has impacted your career, your finances, relationships, self-esteem. And, well, you're bound to have more intrusive thoughts distracting you. So, those early days can be an emotional roller coaster, and it doesn't help that ADHD is not just a problem controlling our attention. We can also struggle to manage our emotions. I've talked about that in other videos. So we are more sensitive, more anxious, and post-diagnosis, you're extremely sensitive to every glitch, every setback, vying for your attention. What does it mean? Is that a sign? There is good news. Eventually, you will start to experiment with tools, strategies, and you'll start bending your world to work with your unique neurology. But until then, you are in a state of shock. Why do I have the remote for the television in my hand? It's getting worse, isn't it? Anyway, so I hope this was helpful. Please, it was right in my hand. Why am I walking around? The TV's in the other. Sorry. Please like and share and follow me and let me know in the squares. I had it in my hand. The comment boxes comment. Did your symptoms get worse? I think I'm getting worse. Oh, and subscribe to the Friday Funnies. I'll put a link in the description if I remember to, or someone will. My wife always catches that stuff, and then David, who does he catches it as well. I think I'm getting worse.